So guys, yes, I did it. I traded in the X4. It is no longer part of the AMR fleet because we now have a nice brand new Rmax1000 4. Now most of you know this already because I've actually had this guy for about a month and you guys have been hounding me saying, well, I've had this, where's the videos of it? But you guys saw all them shots outside in the opening. This winter has been awful. So actually I haven't rode this guy a whole lot, but I got enough to get some opening shots. I'm gonna do a quick walk around here for you guys for time being to show it off, show you the accessories I've already got, and hopefully to appease your appetite until we get nice weather we can get out there and really rip. Plus that'll allow me to get over the break-in so we can just go out there and put the pedal to the floor, get some draggy times and get all that good data I know you guys are wanting. Again, 2021 Rmax1000 4. Now I've already done a video of the two-seater, not a whole lot different as far as construction wise, as far as suspension, engine, all that's the exact same as the two-seater. So I won't bore you guys with going over those specs again. But I know the thing you guys are very interested in is the fact that I have the four-seater now and there's not a whole lot out here on these. So let's start right off with the good stuff. The X4 was a little tricky getting in and out of the back. The doors were narrow. You had this really sculpted in closer. And I am very, very pleased to say that on the Rmax 4, you have more room. The door itself is actually bigger. As you can see, it gives you a bigger opening. This part here doesn't seem to stick out as far either. It seems like there's more distance between there. And there is more legroom in the Rmax 4. I'm sure that's something a lot of you guys are interested in. Is there more legroom? Yes, there is. Now I got the car seat in here, so it's a little cramped sideways. But again, I am not a super tall guy. I am about 5'10", around 165 pounds. But there is considerably more amount of foot room in here than there is the regular X4. Of course, you still have the grab handle like in the X4, and the layout is pretty much identical. You have the 4 cup holders here, and yes, unfortunately, I was disappointed to see this. You still have these twist clips here that you got to remove to take this off in order to check your oil and change your oil. Not a big deal. I was just hoping they'd have some kind of better system than this because it's kind of a hassle. But it is what it is. We can deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. And here you can see there is quite a considerable amount of room. Now there is the latch that kind of sticks out here, but I have yet to actually hit that with any part of my body. So not such a big deal for me anyway, and a guy my size, it's not getting in the way. And you can see how much more room you have right here as well for squeezing in and out of this guy. So I think Yamaha did a really good job of giving you a little bit more room to get in and out and foot room when you're in there without making this thing incredibly longer than what the current X4 was. Now I can't show you this because I have because I have little Kyler Roo's car seat here strapped in the middle, but the seats in this are the exact same as the X4. This flips up, this seat slides up to give you that storage here in the back instead of a seat, which you guys have probably, I'm sure you already know about that. Tailgate is pretty much identical to the X4's. I will say that this latch feels so much better quality on the Rmax than the X4. The X4, it felt kind of like it was cheap plastic and you break it. This guy, it feels much more stout, and I love that. So that is so much nicer. Here you guys can see how I have the car seat strapped in, just a ratchet strap to the tie points here. I haven't done this yet. I did this on the X4. The middle tether, I'm gonna pop this out and it'll fit into the little groove right there with just a little trimming with the utility knife. So I'll do that so it's nice and safe for my littlest kiddo. But again, improvement on the tailgate, definitely. That feels so much more stout. And of course, like the two-seater, this has the revised tail lights that have the built-in reverse lights. And I gotta say, I haven't done much night riding, but those reverse lights are bright, and I love it. So the Rmax4 does come with 29-inch tires, while the two-seaters come with the 30. This is just the base model, so it's got the Dirt Commanders on the plain black rims. I'm fine with that. I love the looks of this, the blackout, especially the gray. That's one of the reasons why I went with the base, is I love this gray color. With this just subtle red and black stripe, Wolverine Rmax1000, I really like the looks of this. I like it better than the green of the XTR. The blue of the Limited I really like, but I don't like all the gadgetry in my machines. I've been pretty clear about that. I can do without the Adventure Pro, without the electronic controlled shocks. That stuff I don't care to have, so I'm perfectly happy with the base. It has the essentials. It has power steering, fuel injected. Power-wise is the exact same, so I'm fine with it. The four-seaters come with the same Fox 2.5 QS3 shocks as the two-seater model. And of course it has your adjustment clickers, 3 adjustments, soft, medium, and firm. I have already added a Badlands 5,000 pound winch to mine. I didn't actually do an install video because I did several winch install videos already on other machines, and I didn't want you guys to get bored with me doing the same old stuff. But I will here in a short video coming up do a quick run through of what I did to hook it up, at least for you guys. So if you're wanting to add a winch yourself and not have a factory or dealer do it, then you can see what I did, and hopefully that'll help you guys. Under the door, very, very similar to the X4. You have your battery up here, the same kind of style air box. You got your vent lines for your diff and fan run up here. Your CVT intakes right here. Little different layout here as far as your fuses and stuff. Of course, I have my winch hooked up here. This is where I put my winch solenoid. And one nice thing the base mode 4-seater comes with that the base model 2-seater does not come with is the speed management system. This comes standard on all 4-seater models, whereas the base model 2-seater does not have this guy. So that's nice, they put that on all the 4-seaters. I'm sure it's because they figure the 4-seaters are going to be family vehicles and younger family members may want to drive it, and so parents may want to be able to limit that, so they include that from the get-go on all Rmax 4-seaters. And yes guys, I have checked. The intake system on this guy is pretty much identical to the X4, which does include the drain in the intake tube down here at the bottom. You know, the one that was responsible for the X4's demise and needing a rebuild. This guy's the exact same way. So we're gonna take care of that right off the bat before I get too many more miles on this guy. Because we don't want what happened to the X4 to happen to my Rmax. Definitely not. So I'll probably just do something similar, is take a bolt with some RTV sealer, put in that, put that cap back on there, and then put a hose clamp on it so we don't have to worry about it. Again, like on the 2-seater, you guys know this, they revamped these doors so you no longer have the kidney buster sticking way out here. And while that never bothered me on the X4, it is so much nicer not having to go around that on this Rmax. I mean, you can hop in, you no longer have to throw the steering wheel up every time you get out and then put it back down every time you get in. You can set it and you can leave it, and you guys can just hop, woo, right in and out. No problem. So welcome to the cab of my Rmax1000 for a couple accessories I did add. I did have them give a roof because having a side-by-side without a roof to me is kind of pointless. But the bread and butter that I think is an absolute must-have for these machines that I had the dealer throw in is the knee mode switch. I did get this added. I was planning on doing a video of the install myself for you guys, but the dealer had them in stock and they already had it thrown in and ready to go when I went to pick this up. But it's simply a plug and play. This has just kind of a blank, like these door speaker inserts pop out. The plug is right on the inside. You plug the switch in, you pop it in place, you're done. But if you guys don't want to spend the money on that D-mode switch, if you head over to the Wolverine forums, they have a how to make your own budget D-mode switch just using a simple 3-position rocker switch like a winch switch that you guys could put in one of these blanks. Now, why do I recommend getting the D-mode switch? Well, let's put it this way. When I first started riding, yes, there is a ton of snow and I got a ton of slippage in this guy, but I've had it pretty much in trail mode, which is what the base models come default. They're on trail mode and that's what you have. And the first couple trips out with this guy, I was like, well, this is kind of on par with the X4. There doesn't have that much get up and go. But after I got a few miles on it, I switched over to the sport mode. And oh boy, let me tell you, you put this puppy in sport mode and it is an entirely different animal. So D-mode switch, or at least the homemade one that they figured out how to do, is a definite must with this guy, because it turns it into a completely different beast. Now, I'm still going through my breakthrough period. I currently have 40, well, that's hard to see with that blue. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up or not. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up. Oh, it's too blue. You can't see that at all. But anyway, I'm currently setting at 48 miles on my break-in. I got 10.9 hours. Yes, I follow the manufacturer's recommended break-in procedure, meaning I have not gone over half throttle thus far, but now that I've hit 10 miles, I can go up to 3/4 throttle. So we'll be able to rip on this guy a little harder now. And then at 20 hours, you change the oil, and I don't think you have to change the transmission fluid. We may go ahead and change everything so I can do how-to videos on that. We'll definitely change the oil, we'll change our front and rear differentials, and then it's on, because we have unlimited access to full power now. So it kind of stinks that I'm in here, the carport, going over this, but it is only about 30 degrees. Well, it's just above freezing, and it's raining, as you can see by how wet my machine is, but boy, does that make it look good. But my initial driving impressions, I don't miss the X4. Now, I will say this. I am not impressed with these Fox shocks. My X4 on the Walker Evans rode better than this Rmax on the Fox shocks at slower speeds. Now, when you get to going a little faster in this guy, then it's probably on par with the X4. But I think I'm gonna have to get a hold of Walker Evans, see if they're gonna develop shocks for this guy. Because truth be told, my X4 on the Walker Evans rode nicer than this Rmax. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me. But as far as a stock Rmax versus a stock X4 on stock shocks, then this does blow it out of the water. So guys, you know I will be putting this guy to the test as we get into nicer weather. Of course, we'll be doing some performance tests, hooking the old draggy up to her and seeing what we can get as far as 0 to 30 times. And I think we'll delve a little deeper into the testing too. I think these guys are rated to tow 2,000 pounds. So I plan on hooking a trailer up with 2,000 pounds and seeing how this guy does with that. We'll maybe do some articulation tests. This guy has front and rear sway bars, so we'll probably play around with those a little bit, hooking and unhooking them, seeing how much articulation we gain. Seeing how much of an improvement we get with ride quality, because that might be part of the difference between how the X4 felt on the Walker Evans and how the Rmax feels on the Fox, is I did have the front sway bar disconnected on the X4 for a while. So we'll be playing around with that. I don't know what all we're going to do with this guy, but I'm open to your suggestions, so make sure you let me know in the comments below. Again, I hope you guys are finally excited to see my Rmax1000 4. Anything specific you want me to show on this guy besides what I've already shown in my 2-seat walk around or in this video, make sure you let me know that in the comments below as well. And this summer, I'm definitely excited to get out there with my Yamaha guys or my Honda guys and hit the trails with this guy and you guys as well. So thanks for watching, for supporting AMR, and until next time, keep on riding.